century takes the oath of office in Nebraska. We're there as Governor Jim Pillen is sworn in, plus how this session could impact both property taxes and the inheritance tax. Later, how 2022 stacks up among the driest years as drought lingers. And we visit with Nebraska Extension about great opportunities to learn. It's time to grow. He's excelled on the farm field and the football field. Now a hog farmer turned governor is set to lead the state of Nebraska. And we've got more as Jim Pillen is sworn in. He knows his way around a hog barn and the football field. Now Governor Jim Pillen crosses the mosaics on the floor of the Capitol Rotunda.
I so swear.
As he takes the oath to serve a state he says retains the pioneer spirit.
A drive for innovation and an appetite for risk-taking and a lot of hard work.
Pillen has retained much of the Ricketts staff and was backed by the former governor, leading some to say the name has changed, but the game is the same. Some, though, see subtle differences in how Pillen will work with lawmakers.
And I have hope for a more open and two-way relationship with the new governor-elect, Pillen. He has already taken steps to connect with all of the senators, and I think that that's a really good sign of having a future that we are working together.
The legislature has moved in a conservative direction, and the newest senators say the Pillen agenda aligns with theirs.
I think that Jim has mentioned a number of times his desire to change the way our property taxes are used with schools. So I think that's going to be worked on in a fairly major way.
Well, he definitely understands agriculture. He definitely understands the financial side of it. I think the perspective that he brings as governor is going to be really helpful in balancing some of the issues that we're faced with. He seems to have a really good take on the issues that are important to rural Nebraska and urban Nebraska, and the urban folks as well.
Policy debates will wait for another time as the new governor sticks with a big picture message of saying Nebraska's best days still lie ahead.
Together, we can make that vision a reality by putting in the work day by day.
Now to a few bills that could be of interest to farmers and ranchers. A proposal from Senator Steve Erdman would exempt some agricultural operations from workers' compensation. Another Erdman proposal would provide property tax relief for property that's damaged. Now that's already state policy, but the list of disasters would be expanded. Senator Tom Brandt proposes changes to the Beginning Farmer program. Brandt also wants to open up the Independent Meat Processors Grant Program to more folks. When it comes to water issues, Senator Bruce Bostelman will guide the Natural Resources Committee, while Senator Steve Halloran of Hastings will lead the Agriculture Committee.
As chairman, I have drawn upon my past experience as a fifth-generation farmer, now retired, and I have also drawn upon my experience as past national president of the National Farmers Organization. Both experiences have enabled me to better understand this important industry we call agriculture. Agriculture is Nebraska's largest industry, crucially important to our state. The industry is made of farmers and ranchers, men and women, who are hardworking, boldly independent stewards of our natural resources, rich soils, and abundant water. A blessing from our Creator God. Nebraska's farmers and ranchers, by their independent nature, are natural problem solvers. They prefer to solve their own issues within the industry without government intervention. Kudos to them. Consequently, not a large number of bills are referenced to the Agriculture Committee, and I'm okay with that. On the other hand, there are occasional issues which need legislation to govern.
One area of concern, the inheritance tax, something a lot of folks in agriculture are certainly not crazy about. And there's likely to be a renewed effort this year to repeal it. NTV's Rossella Ventura has multiple perspectives.
In 2021, Iowa decided to eliminate their inheritance tax, leaving Nebraska to be one of only 5 states that still have this tax. The Buffalo County Treasurer's Office says they collected around $1.7 million in inheritance tax last year.
If something comes up, say like a major trial or something in the county that goes on, say like we have a bridge go down or we have a road project or something that we need some funds on, we can dip into that. And this is a fund that we can use for those kind of emergencies.
Klein says not having the inheritance tax around could result on the increase of property taxes.
I mean, it's got to come from somewhere. Unfortunately, the only tax that we have a whole lot of control on is property tax. The county still has to have a certain amount of money to operate on. And, I mean, we don't have very many places we can get it.
The Platt Institute is an advocate for the state to repeal the inheritance tax.
Nobody knows how much revenue is going to come in by each year. So it's a very unreliable source of income that the county officials should not be counting on.
The Institute surveyed 812 Nebraska registered voters, and the results show that most people also want this tax eliminated.
We pushed for a full repeal of the tax last year. We were unable to get that across the finish line, but we did get the rates lowered, the exemption increased, and if you're under 21, you no longer have to pay the inheritance tax in the state of Nebraska. But we will continue our push for a full repeal.
Something many counties are completely opposed to.
We have so many road projects out there, not near enough money to go around. Everybody wants us to do more, but we don't have the money to work on it. And if you take one more of that avenue away, it's just that much harder.
As many people hope Nebraska joins the 45 states without the inheritance tax, the decision will depend on the legislature, which just started their 2023 session. Reporting in the Tri-Cities, I'm Risel Ventura.
Senator Tom Breezy, a Boone County farmer, will again serve on the Revenue Committee and said there will be an effort to change that inheritance tax.
But if we do that, we have to be cognizant of the importance of the inheritance tax to the counties, and an elimination of the inheritance tax can lead to a property tax increase. And so if we're going to do away with inheritance taxes, I will push for requiring the state to replace those dollars so it doesn't lead to a property tax increase. And we should replace those dollars with state reimbursement, state support to replace those dollars. Otherwise, it really kind of puts the counties in a predicament.
We'll have more from a farmer turned leader later in the show. Now switching to the weather. We've certainly got some snow cover now, but it comes after one of the driest years on record. NTV's Devin Hinkson has more.
Grand Island in total only had 15.20 inches of moisture in the area, and the whole Tri-Cities area follows closely to that number as well. 2012 was the driest year out of 120 years on record, with only 11.55 inches for the whole year. National Weather Service says moisture has been in a steady decline.
Starting in 2020 and continuing right on through 2022, we had a 3-year span with overall dry weather. And because of that, we've gotten into a kind of a increasingly dire drought situation here in Nebraska. Most of the state is in moderate to severe drought. Parts of the state, especially in the northeast and the southwest parts of Nebraska, are in exceptional drought, which is as bad as it gets.
Firefighters in Dannebrog noticed the slow decline in moisture as the years have gone by and say that the weather has not made it easy on anyone who works alongside Mother Nature.
There has definitely been an increase in wildland fires due to the deteriorating conditions. So, not a lot of rain, high winds, and everything else have really made it kind of more of a difficult job, more dangerous for firefighters, as well as not too accommodating to a lot of our farmers. Over the years, I definitely could tell that it's been getting drier. It doesn't seem like the grounds have been as lush. A lot of the wetlands, CRP grounds, and places where people tend to burn off often in rotating cycles it's been more difficult to get those done, and a little bit more dangerous to get that taken care of as well.
National Weather Service of Hastings hopes this next spring and summer cycle will bring back some normal rains and help relieve the stretch of this drought.
Later, will that snowy weather continue? We'll find out in our Grow Weather Update. Up next, learn about some great events coming up from Nebraska Extension.
This portion of NTV's Grow is sponsored by Acres Equipment, solutions for every field. Acres has what you need to get the job done.
Nebraska Extension has some great workshops coming up. Here's more from Nebraska Extension's Steve Melvin visiting with NTV's Chris Wagner.
There's a lot to talk about when it comes to Nebraska Extension's upcoming Ag Winter Meeting. Extension educator Steve Melvin joins us now live to go over some of the big topics. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And now that we've made it into 2023, certainly want to encourage people to take a look at the programs that we have. January and February are certainly our biggest bunch of meetings that come up, face-to-face extension meetings, and all of our programs are research-based education programs. So, and we've always gotten a lot of great comments from producers and ag professionals that come that they're some of the best educational meetings that they attend each year. A couple of them I might lift up. The pesticide safety program, it's ongoing this winter. Again, that's a certification anybody using restricted use pesticides needs to have. And they come up due every 3 years, so take a look at it. Many of you should have received a letter indicating that yours is due this year. Fumigation certification training is another one that we do. It's every 4 years. And again, you should receive one if it's expiring this year. But of course, just like the pesticide, sometimes a person forgets it and it expires, and then we don't send them out to ones that have lapsed. So take a look at your card and make sure if you don't find your card, give us a call. Another program I might lift up is called Power of Negotiation and Communication Workshop for Women in Agriculture. It's going to start on January 18th here in Central City and some other locations around the state. And it's going to run for 4 Wednesday evenings. Ag Day, again, will be happening in Aurora on January 31st. In the morning, we're going to talk about crop protection updates. And in the afternoon, we're going to have Farm and Ranch Transition and Succession workshop associated with that. That'll be at the fairgrounds. And Ag Update will be again this year in Central City on February 14th. We're going to talk in the morning about the spring weather outlook and managing pastures after drought. And then in the afternoon, we're going to talk about a very interesting program on water quality trends and considerations in the Platte Valley. This is just a few of the programs. If you want to take a look at for more information on those, as well as several other programs going on around the area, call your local extension office or go to merrick.unl.edu and click on Merrick County Ag by Steve Melvin to get more information, or of course you can give me a call as well.
Steve, thank you so much for all that information, and hopefully some of our folks out there will get in contact with you and get signed up. Thank you very much.
We have seen some slight improvements in drought conditions. We'll check our Grow Weather Outlook next.
NTV's Grow Weather is sponsored by Acres Equipment, solutions for every field. Acres has what you need to get the job done.
I hope you're having a happy new year so far. In our first Grow Weather report of 2023 showing the drought monitor. Not much improvement here, even though there was substantial moisture across the region. In Kansas this week, 84.5%, moderate drought, severe is 68.75%. And the extreme drought in Kansas, 57%. There was improvement this week in the exceptional drought this week, 36.85%. Nebraska, on the other hand, 99.75%, moderate drought, severe 84%, extreme drought is 46.33%. Then the exceptional, that's the improvement category, 12.33% in the Cornhusker State. At least the temperature outlook showing normal temperatures for most of Nebraska, the northwest corner of Kansas, and the precip category above normal for a big share of western, northern Nebraska, and then those equal chances I always talk about. That's good news for us. At least we see normal possibilities for precipitation for the rest of Nebraska and all of Kansas. As far as the long range, January, February, March, it shows equal chances are normal temperatures, but the drought situation not looking good in the 3-month as far as precipitation, showing most of Nebraska and Kansas below normal as far as snow and rainfall amounts are concerned. But the week ahead, as far as livability, it looks pretty good. 40 tomorrow, 44 by Wednesday, a cold snap, if you call it that, on Thursday, pretty close to seasonal for this time of year, and then right back up into the 40s for Friday. Overall, then, we average above normal for both the highs and the lows for the week ahead, with normal highs right around 36 and 16 average lows for this time of January. And the proverb, the month that comes in good will go out bad. Well, January didn't come in good by any means, so we're in luck there. That is your Grow Report for this week. Join us again next time when once again it will be time to grow.
If you're doing some work around the farm, getting ready to calve, whatever's going on, we want to see your pictures. Go to our website, nebraska.tv, and chime in. The longest-serving state ag director in Nebraska history now cheers on his wife. We'll meet Teresa Ibaugh coming up.
Ag Outlook on NTV's Grow is driven by Cornhusker Toyota Honda, home of the Toyota Tacoma and Tundra trucks, and Nebraska's only dual Toyota Honda dealer.
The longest-serving state ag director in Nebraska history now cheers on one of the newest state senators, his wife, who brings a lifetime of her own experiences to the job.
I kind of knew from day one that
18 years ago, she was the one standing to the side as her husband joined the governor's team. Now, Teresa Ibaugh gets her moment, taking it all in.
It's an honor to be here, and you really understand that more when you're actually on the floor.
With photos taken, it's on to business as one of Nebraska's newest state senators. Ibaugh says she spent months doing her homework.
And I've also visited with some of the senior senators about the committees, specifically the committee chairs, about the work that they're hopefully going to be engaged with.
Her husband, Greg, was Nebraska's longest-serving director of agriculture. Their 3 kids all studied agriculture and have related careers. Teresa, too, has been involved with farming and ranching, but also maintained her own career.
I was in the shopping center industry and property management for 27 years and really appreciated the lessons that I learned there as far as the financial end of it, the property management end of it, and then the people side of it, too.
A unique combination, she believes, serves her well.
And well-rounded, I hope. I hope they see me as well-rounded.
She believes the same can be said of Governor Jim Pillen, who brings a background as a farmer and veterinarian, who also built a business with a large payroll.
It's good to have somebody that understands agriculture, understands what we do on a day-to-day basis, and understands rural Nebraska. It's going to be real exciting to see where he goes with his priorities and how we can support him.
She spent 4 years going back and forth between Nebraska and D.C. Over the last couple of years, she's gotten used to being around a couple of grandkids. Now she'll be splitting time between the Dawson County farm and the state capitol. And we'll be following that and all the other ag issues, as we always do, right here as we see how agriculture makes Nebraska grow.